Hello everybody, Zachary Fruling, aka Cozy Azeroth here. I am working my way through a fairly large number of old type-in programs in TI Basic and TI Extended Basic for the Texas Instruments TI-99-4A home computer from computer magazines from the late 1970s all the way through the 1980s and into the early 1990s. This little program I found is called a Character Shifter. It's by Jerry Macdonell of Kirkwood, New York, circa when this was published in July 1987. This is from Micropendium magazine. I'm going to read the brief program description, get into TI Extended Basic and the Classic 99 emulator, which emulates a TI-99-4A in a modern PC. We'll type the program in, run it, see what we can learn from it, and see what we can make it do. Okay, Character Shifter. We're not sure what you will do with this routine, but Character Shifter by Jerry Macdonell of Kirkwood, New York may have some uses in extended basic programs. As presented here, the program adds a 00 to the beginning or end of a string of 94 displayable ASCII characters, 33 through 127. After the ASCII characters are... Sorry, I have to scroll here. After they're displayed, each character will either rise or sink. The 00 in lines 130 and 140 may be replaced by any hex code. You may want to substitute FF so that a solid block will replace each character as it flies away. In fact, I may try that. We'll try both versions of the program. Okay, let's get into Classic 99. Here's the TI-99-4A start screen. Press any key to begin. Press 2 for Extended Basic. And let's get typing. Okay, we've got a couple of remark statements here. Let's see, we're starting on line 10. Remark. Let's count how many hyphens we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 20. Remark. Character Shifter. 30. Remark. I know it's a little tedious to do these unnecessary remark statements, but I'm trying to type these programs exactly as written in these magazines for posterity purposes. 40, call clear. We've got space, colon, colon. I never really understood the appeal of doing more than one statement on the same line in, line 40. I forgot to put the line number, excuse me. 40. Call clear. I never understood the appeal of putting more than one statement on the same line number. I guess in theory it makes the programs run a little bit faster, but it's just so tedious to type them in and tedious to edit it if there's a mistake. I don't tend to write programs that way on these old systems. Print up or down, 1 or 2. Okay, up or down, 1 or 2. Question mark. Okay, let's see, we've got colon, colon, space, and print. It looks like this is just a space here. Yeah, sure enough, it's just quote, space, quote. Okay, let's scroll a little bit, line 50. Except at, so these are the coordinates, row and column 24, comma 1. Okay, validate, paren digit, and paren colon A. Okay. It's funny, every time I type these retro programs in, I have to adjust myself to each programmer's programming style. You know, I wouldn't think even in these old systems there was such a variety in programming style, but there really is. 60, if A is greater than 2, then 50. A is greater than 2, then 50. Just make sure that we're getting a digit that's not greater than 2. 70, call clear, clears the screen. So now we're back to one line per line number, so a little bit of arbitrariness here. For I equals 1 to 3, Now we're back to more than one statement per line number. For u equals 33 to 127, not to complain, since these old programs are really fun. Okay, print chr string of u and we have semicolon and then colon colon space next u and then next I, next u, next I. Okay, 90. It's not a very long program, it won't take too long to type this in here. 90 for I equals 33 to 127. I equals 33 to 127. X equals integer of 10 times r in d minus 5. 10 times r in d minus 5 outside the parens, space, colon, colon, space, y equals integer of 10 times r in d minus 5. Space, colon, colon, space, call Sprite, and this is going to start drawing things on the screen here. Number 1, comma I, comma 2. Number 1, comma I, comma 2, comma 98, 120, X and Y. I think that's all for line 100. Yep. 110 for y equals 128. 120. Call charpat. Character pattern, I believe. I, comma a string. Is it all for 120? Mm-hmm. Yep. 130. If a equals 1, then b string equals string segment of a string, comma 3, comma 14. A string, comma 3, comma 14. And an ampersand, quote 00, quote, space, colon, colon, space, go to 150, 40, b string equals 00, in quotes, and string segment a string, comma 1, comma 14, a string, comma 1, comma 14, and that's all for line 140. 150, call char, oops, typo, there we go, char, I, comma b string, $160, next y, $170. Again, we're back to like arbitrariness in terms of multiple statements per line or one statement per line. Strange. Call delete sprite, del sprite. Oops, sprite, there we go. So this gets rid of sprite number 1 here, which gets regenerated, I believe. And 180, last line, and we'll very quickly quickly be able to see out what this program does. 180 next I. Okay, let's clear the screen. Let's list out the program. And we're looking for any obvious mistakes, typos, syntax errors, math errors, anything of that sort. And I didn't write the program, so it's hard to skim it at a glance, but I don't see any syntax errors at a glance anyway. It doesn't mean there aren't any. Let's run it and see what this program does. Up or down, 1 or 2. Let's go with up. Okay. So it's listing out all the... Okay, I'm not sure what happens here. Oh, there we go. Okay, yep, characters are starting to fly away. Check it out. That's cute. And they do turn into random characters here. I see what you mean by replacing with FF, so they turn into little squares. Let's let this happen for a minute. Yeah, check it out. It's a weird little program. I'm just going to let it run, and then we'll make the modification suggested in the program description. I guess this will go until all the characters have flown away. I'm not sure what the purpose is of having this on the screen 3 times. I'll check to make sure that's not just an error in the program I typed in here in a minute. Let's let it just do its thing until all the characters are gone. It's cute that the characters kind of dissolve away as they fly away. People come up with much cleverer things than I ever came up with on the system. And the home stretch here. It'd be cool if there are little sound effects that happen when the characters fly away and when they dissolve. Okay. Anything happen? Yep, just there we go. Let's list out the program. I want to double check something here. Is it supposed to repeat a line of 3? Repeat this line of characters 3 times. Let's see here. Let's just double check our code. It does sure seem like it. I think it's this for next loop in line 80 that's doing the trick here. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's what it's supposed to do. Let's save it before we forget to do that. Save using disk 2 as my archive here. And what do we call this? Let's call it, and then we'll modify the program and check out the other version of it as suggested. Okay, so character shifter. Character shifter. Okay. Let's make some modifications. Program adds a 00 to the beginning or end of a string of 94 characters. After the ASCII characters are displayed, each character will either rise or sink. Actually, let's try before we do anything, let's try the other version of it. Let's do down. the characters are going to shift away downward now, I guess. Forgot to check out the other version of this. Let's do that before we make the modifications. I'm not sure what's going on with that one character that floats upward at the top. Like, is that by design, or did I make an error somewhere? It's like it's flying away in random directions. Maybe that's what that randomization statement is doing. Same thing, we're going to let it run through the entire, it's a little tedious, but we're going to let it run through the entire run-through of this program just for completion's sake and posterity's sake. No revisionist history here. You know, it's funny, I never had the extended basic cartridge when I was a kid, so I'm constantly amazed at the things you can do in extended basic that you can't do in regular console basic out of the box. And I didn't have any of these computer magazines or newsletters, so I didn't get exposed to all the wacky things people were doing, whether TI Basic or Extended Basic or anything on the TI. I had the console, I had the 2 books that came with the console, the occasional other book from the library, some cartridges. I vaguely remember having the speech synthesizer when I was a kid. I think my dad must have ended up with it because I don't remember I didn't have it the whole time. I had it briefly and remember messing around with it when I was really little, and then I didn't have it anymore. So I suspect that when my parents got divorced, my dad ended up with a TI and I had a different TI, and he had the he had the speech synthesizer. I think that's probably what happened. It'd be cool to like have a little speech synthesizer routine that says the letters or says the name of each character as it flies away. I like these little demo programs though. They just show some of the cool things you can do that you wouldn't have thought of unless someone else showed you could do it. It's a weird little routine. Alright, almost done. Then we'll make the modifications. Okay, so let's list out the program again. While it's doing that, let's look at the manual. Okay, the 00 in lines 130 and 140 may be replaced by any hex code. You may want to substitute FF so that a solid block will replace each character as it flies away. Okay, let's try that. So line 130. Let's list out 130. Okay, so let's retype it. 130, if A equals 1, then B string equals string segment A string, comma 3, comma 14, and here's the change we're going to make, quote FF, quote, space, colon, colon, space, go to 150. Okay, let's just double check our work there. It looks pretty good. Okay, now we need to list out 140 and make the same change in line 140. Okay, 140, B string equals, quote, FF, quote, and string segment, A string, comma 1, comma 14. Okay. Let's list out the whole modified program. And let's run it. See what the difference is. Up or down, 1. Try up, we'll let it run the whole way through, and then we'll do down, let it run the whole way through, and then we'll call this a stream. String number mismatch in 130. What did I do wrong here? Oh, I missing a string segment there. Okay, 130. If A equals 1, then I see what I did wrong. B string equals string segment with a $sign, and oh no, excuse me. There we go. I see what I did. A string, comma 3, comma 14. I accidentally put an ampersand there. I see what I did. And quote ff quote colon colon go to 150. That should fix it. All right, let's try that again. Run. Up or down, 1 or 2. Why am I continuing to get that error in 130? Let's double check the program listing, I guess. I must be doing something wrong here. List 130. Maybe it just doesn't like that FF after all. Okay, 130. If A equals 1, then B string equals string segment, so seg $sign. Oh, yeah, look at me being all clumsy with my typing today. Watch me embarrass myself in a retro programming stream. There we go. Okay, segment, $sign, a $sign. Just keep typing it wrong. For some reason, I don't know why I keep typing an ampersand instead of a $sign. Bad muscle memory, I guess. Ampersand, that's correct. FF, quote, go to 150. Alright, that should fix it. Run. There we go. It's interesting, you can kind of maybe turn it into any character you want if you're clever enough. I like it. Let's let it run through the entire program. Then we'll do the same thing with the descending version. In fact, I might save both versions of it in my disk 2 while we're saving programs. At some point I'll be posting a link to these type-in program archives. I'm saving the files as I go, so I don't know the best place to put them yet, but I will share them eventually, so stay tuned. Here on YouTube and on my website and in the TI-99 Discord group server, and so on and so forth. It'd be great to jazz this up with a little touch of color, like every iteration gets a new color scheme or something. I like pretty things on the screen. In the home stretch. Having the one character flying off at random velocities was an interesting little touch. Might have put it a little higher up so you could see what's going on. Alright, that's all of that. Let's run it one more time. We'll do the descending version. I don't know why, for some reason I like this version better with the 2 F's instead of the 2 zeros in those 2 lines of code. Just more happening on the screen. It's a little jarring because I'm not used to seeing letters overlap like this in console basic. There's not much to say about it at this point. It's a little mesmerizing. Fun to watch. I love these demos. They're just fun to watch. We live in such pragmatic times. We forgot the computers can just be fun, not just pragmatic. It's just gratuitously fun. Here's something weird we can make it do, just because we can make it do it. Also, FYI, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, I'll post the link to the program listing on archive.org in the video description, so check that out below if you're catching this on YouTube after the fact. See a couple of folks tuning in on Twitch in real time, though. Hello. Hope everyone's having a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, in the home stretch, we'll save this one. I'll start packaging it up and getting it posted on YouTube. There we go. Okay, let's save this one. This was called, I gotta remind myself what it was called. It was called Character Shifter. So we'll call this Character Shifter 2. Save dsk2.character shifter 2. Okay, so let's make sure that worked. Let's make sure both are there. Character shifter list. Okay, I pulled up the original character shifter. Double check that it's got the 00 in there. Yep. Okay. New. Let's check to make sure it's saved. Character shifter 2. Oop. Sure it has the FF on lines 130 and 140, and it does. We got them both. Okay, I'm going to let this run. In any case, thanks for tuning in. This is a wacky little Sprite demo program. Again, just give some credit where credit is due. This is from Jerry Macdonell of Kirkwood, New York, and this is from the July 1987 issue of Micropendium magazine. If you happen to be watching this after the fact on my YouTube channel, be sure to check out the rest of my YouTube channel. You can find it under my real name, Zachary Fruling, or under my Twitch handle, Cozy Azeroth, for lots more TI 99.4a content, retro programming, retro gaming, lots of World of Warcraft live streaming, and miscellaneous educational videos on a wide variety of topics of interest to me, both professionally and personally. If you happen to be watching this live on Twitch, like I said, I see a couple people watching right now, same thing. Please check out my YouTube channel for all the above, and feel free to say hi and participate in the chat in any way you see fit. In any case, I appreciate the likes and follows, and especially subscriptions, all of which help me out greatly in these challenging and troubling financial times. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next video with more TI 99.4a content. Have a good day.